Hi guys, and today with Dima
Hi, Sergey.
we will talk a little bit about tea manufacturing and how do we sourcing our teas.
Yes, how Moychay sources its seeds, right?
Yeah.
Because we do it in a very special way.
Yeah.
It's not very popular on the market. Right?
Yeah, it maybe can be popular, but it's pretty difficult, and for some reasons it's really not easy. Yeah, what I can say. First of all, I have for any word I talking, I have printed proof and video proof on our
big English channel.
Yeah, big English channel. Also some videos on Russian channel. Still didn't translate it yet, but maybe 500 videos from China and 500 videos about education of tea. So we have a little bit of experience,
right?
Yes, a little bit of experience, yeah. But easily, what I can say that about sourcing. When I started always tea moving, and it was kind of hobby, and it was, of course, anyone who really loved tea started from love, as you, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You're a small business before, you just in love with tea, and
you want to push it.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, and you want to find out some new tastes, and if you want more new tastes, you need to go to the root, and as more new tastes you want, as deeper you go. So finally, what we can say, the best tea, of course, you can source directly from the farmers, which is what we work, and our style and our main goal. For all these years, I spent at least like half of time in China, in Taiwan.
And all of these years are like 12 or 10 years, right?
Almost 11.
Almost 11.
Almost 11 years, yeah, almost 11 years. I just visited most of tea production factories.
In China?
In China, not most of factories, most of provinces, I want to say here. Most of tea provinces, most of factories, its whole life will be not enough to visit, because it's really hundreds, thousands of small and big tea farms.
It's easier to go to the moon than do that, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, because I always talk about when I come to China, I always see something completely new. And now, after the big experience in China, as I told, we also do our own tea in Krasnodar region, in Sochi, and also we source, of course, from Japan and from Vietnam a little bit, from Thailand, from Taiwan, and of course from India a little bit.
And almost from the Netherlands, right?
Yes, and almost from the Netherlands. We need to call Johan again to remind him a little bit. Yeah. So the main thing. How the big companies or middle companies, or doesn't matter about the size, how do we work? Because first, it's pretty not so easy to go to the source in China. You must speak Chinese, or you need to have enough money to have translator with you and spend a lot of time. But because I'm fanatic, I just first
study
I just studied Chinese, especially for this. I just fall in love with all these villages and the mountains, and because I'm just loving traveling and love nature. So yeah, I started just travel step by step. We have a lot of years, like when I go to China in March and get back in the beginning of June, have small break for a week in the middle, and yeah, in autumn the same. And also the same with ceramic centers and so on. But what I can say that there is a different type of sourcing. You can source directly, even if you're in China, you can source from the markets, for example, like biggest markets in Guangzhou or Beijing or Shanghai or big cities, our big cities, or you can source from, how to say, supply companies, which is actually big Chinese companies, which take teas from all regions and supply to European or American or Russian customers.
So basically you can see it as a big aggregate which...
Yeah, big aggregator, yeah. But of course, the first thing, price is different. The second thing, you can't control quality directly.
And it's unfair to the farmers, right?
Yeah, but the farmers is really difficult to work, because you need to, like, from each farmer take like 3 or 4 types of tea. And I have really hundreds, the most, our best suppliers, it's around 600, and which I work each year. And
we have 600 suppliers, right?
600 suppliers, and it's constantly changing. So, for example, there's some suppliers which we only supply like one time in 3 years, for example. Yeah, where some new suppliers came in. For example, because last year I don't travel to China because of the corona, but I hope to travel this year. But anyway, I order hugest amount of samples ever in last year because I didn't.
How many? In the thousands?
Yeah, it may be thousands of types because finally we had around 600-700 types of teas, which was sourced from 300 to 400 suppliers for last year. I can tell it exactly because it's like really huge amount, and we received like tons of parcels. It was really difficult also during the stops and lockdowns, but I was lucky to receive most of tea in the summer, but not in the spring. It was before, so it was a big delay, and it was really difficult for me because I really have habit.
A habit.
Yeah, I really have a habit to arrive to the factory, drink it at the factory.
Make friends with the farmer.
Yeah, make friends, make relations, because Guanxi, which means relation in Chinese, it's extremely important thing. And one more reason why you need to source directly from farms, you can control the process, the technological process of preparing teas. So this is also a very important way. You can talk directly to them what you want to change in the technological process. I'm not a tea technologist, but I have pretty big experience in what my customer needs, and I really try to always, research something new, types or new tastes, or I find out some technology in one region and I can explain this technology to farmer in other region, and do some black tea from Oolong, for example, or fermented shu chai. This is actually Pu-erh, but we made it from Taiwan tea, from Oolong tea, and also we made a lot of crazy things like GABA white tea, or a lot of things like GABA Pu-erh, and the same we do in Russia with experimenting on technology, which is also a very important thing. And I think after this book, this is the geography of Chinese tea. Now it's only in Russian, but I hope in close month or maximum 2 it will be published in English. So it will be very good tea bible for anyone who wants to know about Chinese geography, manufacturing and types of tea and how they were prepared, because it's a main thing what I really love and what I just spend. I can really say that I commit your life to tea, which I can really say now. Yeah, and
but can you explain what's really, well, we're not the only big tea company, right? But what do we do that's uniquely ours, right?
I think the wideness, because
you mean how many
teas,
and the quality that is also.
I can't combine and I can't compare with other companies because I didn't have time to comparing with other suppliers. Local suppliers, I talk, of course, but European, Russian, doesn't matter. But
all over the world.
All over the world, I don't know. But what I know and what I constantly, continuously improve, what no one do it so wide. Whereas a lot of companies which is focused on something, and they work pretty good. Or they focus
on only Pu-erhs.
Only Pu-erhs, or a couple of Pu-erhs, couple of Oolongs, and so on, and didn't focus on tea-ware, for example. But I can't say that we already done it. I still see a lot of things that need to be changed.
Well, for example, this tea-ware is just a year, exists 1 year, right? Your kilns and stuff like that. By the way, you can watch a video about the whole process of making these cups, and you can look at it in this corner, that corner, or maybe in the description.
Somewhere you'll
find it. But yeah, I see that Moychay the whole time is growing and just exploring new ideas also.
This is the main thing that we need. If you don't do that, you will be dead. And these times we have, at the same time, difficult times and easy times. If you're constantly moving, if you're always scaling, research new ideas and make it real all the time. this is the main goal for me, because I'm not only about, maybe I'm mostly not about the goals, I'm about the process. So then in this process, you're always moving, doing something more and more, and not only like scaling, but you do some interesting new projects. Like we here in Amsterdam, we like our art projects, ceramic, new teas, some crazy content and so on. So
I like that the Chadao basically also goes into business, you know, like the always changing and looking at the process, not the end result.
And the main thing, I never think about business too much, as you also see. We can, of course, we think about our goals and sales and so on, because we must
survive.
Yeah, but my philosophy in all of this: do what you like and try to do it as you do for yourself personally, the same quality. I will never sell the tea which I can't drink by myself, which is why we don't sell aromatic teas, and only one tea we have aromatic is milk oil. Sorry guys, but I never will recommend it to you. So even it exists in our assortment. Some people which is really into Chadao is shaming on me but because of this tea, but it's
it's actually very good for people to get into good tea.
Yes, it's a starter.
Yes.
And when people asking, we give a sample of natural oolong just to compare. So this is it's a bite for people who didn't know. Yeah, so this is
it's kind of a sampler, and then
I
think me too. You know, I also started from like those. Sorry, wood. From those kind of cheap. More aromatized teas, but then I tried real ones, right? Mm-hmm. You made it for me, and I just completely switched.
In one day.
Just like this.
So this is very easy. How to be into, what is our difference? Yeah, you see, just try it. It's really easy. I hope, in any place where we go, where we have physical locations, like here in Amsterdam or other cities, of course we will provide
opportunity for tasting free samples. You can just always walk into our shop and ask for a free sample, because that's what tea is all about, tasting it, smelling it. That's super important, right?
Yeah. If you don't try it, you never ever can understand it. Because also back to our main theme, because we're talking about the sourcing. Why I need to be so long time? Because I need to drink it actually. I can't buy it by the photo or by the price or by the name. It's impossible, because the same tea, the same names can have biggest differences ever.
Depending also, not even on the year, but
it's
depending on
all the time,
right?
Depending of anything, depending of harvesting, manufacturing, how do they do it, how do they provide some process, how do they pack it, how do we store it, anything. And what is soil, you can control, you can take your, even with one, maybe 2 trips, we take even small lab with us, and it was a little bit not so easy, but we check the soils, for example, and also you can directly talk to farmers and look at their gardens. Yes, the tea garden also very important. You can see how do they grow, do they use pesticides or not, and it's very easy to understand. You just go through and you see some plastic bags with some herbicides and so on. So if do they use or not, it's very easy to understand. But also later we also do tests. For example, just now we just sent some from some factories which we still didn't supply here in European Union, because European regulation is much more strict than Russian ones. So for now we just want to have Taiwanese, Thai teas, we'll have Japanese, some teas from India, but still not Chinese. A little bit later we'll have. We want to pass SGS.
For people that don't know, that's the main check if a tea or food is biologically safe and stable without different weird stuff.
They mostly check the controlled substances level. Is it okay for health or not? And it's each type of tea we check for 600 pesticides, herbicides and insecticides. So it's extremely important for us, and we just focus on this
safety and quality, right?
Yeah.
But have you ever visited a farmer in China and just saw that it used pesticides and just turned and walked right out, or
I just ask, usage of pesticides is not extremely bad. Extremely bad is if they use it in uncontrolled levels, because the controlled amount, if it's really less, it's can be harmful. It's of course organic is preferable, and here we will focus on it. But in Russia also we have not organic teas because it's okay, and actually most of teas which is sold in Europe also not organic, and but it must be the level of these used chemicals must be low, and which is really like that not only in China but all the world. More and more research new chemicals which is not so harmful, which is for example there is some DDT pesticide which was very strong, and now it's not used anymore, and there's a lot of lists of pesticides which each year I'm talking about China, of course, Chinese government prohibit to use, and I just received last year, when I was not last, at the end of 2019, I received a letter from Hunan organization from the government for government factories, and there was just a complete prohibition of usage of huge amount, like more than 50 different type of pesticides completely, and it was prohibited not only usage, it was prohibited to manufacture in China. So this is really...
They keep a tight grip on that, right?
Yeah, of course, because they also understood that it's not because they really care not only, it's also about business. If you want to sell tea to European, American market or some other markets, restrictions, very high standards, and you can't sell it. If, of course, China, the biggest market is in the market, so it's they consume most of teas inside China, but the exports grow and grow each year, and we really want to make it better, and we really want to make it more organic. So now really the situation changed, because there are a lot of stereotypes about China, because China is very dirty, a lot of ecological problems still exists. But for last years, the government really try and really keep a lot of efforts to make change things. So what I see, there's some even factories with a lot of level of pollution of some factories. We forced them to reduce or close these factories. It was like last year, it was really difficult for some even regions, and it was stressful, but they must do that. So first they give anyone to do anything just to let economy grow, but now they try to make it more organized. But also I'm talking a lot about China, but I can say that of course there's a lot of great teas outside China too, and we're also not, I can't say that we are completely Chinese, just I spent and I take most of my experience in China, but I'm not focused only on China, and we want only also work with other countries, and I want to bring this experience, especially in technology, manufacturing, to other plantations in other countries, and bring more and more great teas.
By the way, about pollutants and stuff like that, is the reason that we discard the first infusion also to wash the tea?
One of the reasons. When we didn't drink first infusion, it also
wakes up the tea, right?
Yeah, wakes up the tea, because first infusion regularly it's not so tasty. It's not enough. The leaf still not warm enough. And also it have a little bit of dust, because during the technological process there is some dust on it, on the tea. Especially with farm product, it's impossible to make it very clean. So this is why most of teas recommended to didn't drink first brew, especially first infusion.
I know you do, right?
I sometimes drink it, and even if back to me, what I can say about the pesticides and other stuff. When I'm in China, of course, I don't go first to the farmer and, oh, please give me your certificates and all the stuff, and after that I will taste your tea. It's impossible. First, I drink the tea. If I like it, after that I make a test, after that I make export. But first I drink it. And you can imagine how many teas I drank, I tested for me. And of course, many of these teas was not suitable for export even in Russia, or because it has some problems. But I never had any problems. And I know thousands of people who just drink anything, even just buy directly from China tea which was never tested.
So I think the healthiness of tea counteracts.
And will still live, so it's...
Great.
If I alive, it makes like alive or
alive.
Alive. Sorry, my English still need to be updated.
We're having a live.
But we'll practice with Dima more. Please subscribe and please
to see the progress.
Please leave below your comments which word from my English was worse pronunciation. I will very appreciate and will study it better. So this is of course it's a complicated problem anyway with any food. So this is why we have a chance. It's very good that European regulations are so strict.
But here will be only organic teas, right? You said.
Yeah.
So no business like this at all.
I just focused on that because it's much easier, I truly believe that organic is great and it's preferable. But for my opinion, I can be okay. Some people maybe not disagree with me. I think that if some not high but low level of some chemicals that's needed for growing, especially cheap teas, are not so very harmful. Especially why? Because when we drink the tea, of course, first brew, some chemicals go out in the first brew. Second thing, you didn't eat the tea leaves. Some chemicals still stay in the tea leaves. They didn't go to the tea, actually. For example, when you're drinking potatoes, when you're eating potatoes, or eating mushrooms, or eating cucumber, or doesn't matter.
Or meat.
Or meat. If we're talking about some steroids, which is a lot of food already exists some chemicals inside, and you eat it. But here you actually didn't eat the leaves. This is the main thing. But the second thing, of course, it doesn't mean that you didn't need to be focused on organic. It means that if you drink something not organic, you don't need to be worried too much, because it's the truth. Because a lot of tea also, which is named by organic, but it's not organic actually.
By the way, how do you what is the process of sourcing a tea? So you meet the farmer, and then what happens until it gets into that tea cup?
There is a very, very big opportunities, big amount of different types.
Different processes, right?
Different processes.
How much steps is it like?
So
10,
I will say the most complicated process how I do it in Hunan, the resource Pu-erh, for example, because it's one of our most popular teas, and when I make a shoe Pu-erh especially, I buy the leaf. So it's fresh leaves during the spring or during the autumn. Mostly it's spring and autumn harvest. I never buy summer harvest because it's not so tasty. But I buy the leaf directly from the owners of plantation. Sometimes it's farmers, sometimes it's factories. After that, they make, it's called in Chinese Banqingping. It's a kind of semi-product. Then they make it Pu-erh, it's called Moychay. Also Moychay, it's hairy tea, it can be translated like that. This Moychay is a semi-product of, it also can be called Shen Pu-erh, but before it was pressed, it's just Moychay. And we made it in one or maybe 4 different factories in Hunan, which help us to make this first processing, because it's when you buy fresh leaf, you can't deliver it to very long distances. So we have a few regions where we buy. Mostly it's near Dima, it's in Pu-erh region in Jinggu, and in Insan, and one in Moychay. So it's 4 main regions, but also we source from different other regions. But there I source already prepared cooked tea. But the most complicated process is when you buy the fresh leaf. And after I buy the fresh leaf, it very difficult was last year to do that, because I was not on the plantation actually. So I just tried.
You were Zoom calling.
Not Zoom calling, but I just contacted relations. So it's very good to be organized in good. And after that, after these leaves semi-product is ready, we also make cakes. For example, one of the factories we have Dima by China. It's all made on the factory which supply us this semi product, and also Dima shrimp pour also from them. Our they're accessible to cakes. Later will be in assortment, I hope. And these 2 cakes we just made on one factory, and all the rest shrimp pour, Moychay, we sent from Dima to Moychay for fermentation. So it's how the Pu-erh fermented. We just add the water and ferment it for 60 days. You can see videos about technological process on our channel. It also exists, I think.
And some of them you also need to age, right? Some of them
yes, some of this material we just buy and store, but we never store it for a very long time because it really costs a lot of money. Not only storage, but you need to to freeze your money. So regularly we just prepare it, maybe store for a few months only, and after that press the cakes, store them like 1-2 months, sometimes a little bit longer, and immediately ship. So yeah, it's but they didn't finalize the process. You say about the fermentation of Pu-erh, and after that, this fermentation finished, we have loose leaf pour, and then we need to sort it. You need to go for a sorting machine, and after that you have different types of Pu-erh, and we can make a special recipe for tea cakes, for Pu-erh tea cakes. And after that, it's another plant, another factory. They help us in making, following our recipes. They're making the mixtures, blends, and they prepare the cakes. So this is how process preparing. But also it depends. Sometimes I buy already cooked Pu-erh if I find the price and the quantity and quality all is very good for us. Of course, we can buy. And also with green teas, often I don't buy the material, I buy really prepared tea. With black teas also mostly like this, but always I try to source from, if I buy something from one region, I visit few factories with the same product and compare. Or I see it's a very, very different process.
So for also, literally every province you...
Sometimes I just buy already prepared tea. Sometimes I buy the leaf and prepare tea by myself. Sometimes I know what we can prepare and order it, and ask to make some technological changes in tea.
And is it difficult to get tea out from China to Russia or the
Netherlands? Get it out is not difficult, but getting in it's much more difficult also because of these certificates and stuff. This is why I just say that we sent to the SGS first 10 factories for test to try out and look how it's going in here, because I also checked it before in some other laboratories, but I want to check it here again and look, because you see, if the soil is clean, it means that this plantation is okay for manufacturing. And how do we do for now? How do we do it here, and how do we do it in Russia also? Maybe just a little bit different laboratories with not so huge amount of list of these chemicals, much less, but also we check it. First, we need to check the factory. What do they have? We ask the Chinese documents. Even with small farm, we always have something. We can't just make the tea, actually. Or if you are a remote mountain area and it's a tea tree in Hunan, of course we didn't use chemicals because it's endemic there, and they didn't need these trees just growing naturally. Which is why tea from the trees in Hunan is very preferable. This is also why Russian tea, Krasnodar region is very preferable, because they never used any kind of pesticides for maybe like 30 years almost. And this is why tea is very clean. And also tea from Georgia, very clean. Tea from Netherlands, of course. And Japanese tea mostly clean and Taiwanese. But there's a lot of prejudice about China also. But there are also a lot of organic teas, especially from Guizhou province. We will have certified organic teas. But I want to try out also some teas which does not have certified, because why we don't have it? Because it costs a huge amount, a lot of big amount of money, and sometimes they really grow it organically, but we don't have money to make these certificates. So I do it for them, help them, a little.
The way you're telling it, it sounds like tea is the hot new thing. So you said Japan, China, Taiwan, Thailand, now also the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of tea coming to not traditional countries to get grown in?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Of course.
It's kind of a revolution too.
Yeah, we can say that because now it's growing in maybe 50 countries or even more. Yeah,
also the Africa region.
Yes, Malawi, Tanzania, Kenya. Of course, Kenya is one of the biggest manufacturers. Argentina, even some plantation in USA, in Canada, and even some small plantation in Germany and in England and on Azorean Islands also some teas. Which teas of course is very expensive, especially European ones, but just interesting to taste it. Yeah, also I was on plantation in New Zealand, it's Hamilton. There is a pretty good teas, a company called Zillow, and also there is of course the biggest plantation in Turkey. And Iran also manufacture tea, so it's of course India, Sri Lanka.
Or not?
What?
The ones in Europe and stuff like that, America and Canada, are they new or have they been?
It's new.
Okay,
it's new.
And is it worse because it's new or is it just different?
It's different, I think. I can't say that I tried all of these teas. If you're watching this video, and you are a tea manufacturer from somewhere, please send us samples. We'll try and we really
review it on camera.
Yeah, we'll review it, and we're really open to cooperate with any, even small suppliers from. Doesn't matter where you are. We really open because for me tea is
passion.
Yeah, tea is passion, and we really like to work with new suppliers and find out some new manufacturers
and boost.
And then boost it, especially European ones, because we located in Amsterdam, so it's very easy. We didn't need to import. Which is why we just start work with Netherlands manufacturer.
Yeah.
So
Check for our email down in the description, or maybe even go to our Instagram and DM us.
Yes, just Moychay.net and you'll find out all the ways. Yeah, but also what we can talk about tea, that you see there is a difference between the countries with which manufacture and how do they do that. Because for example, before we started in Russia, there was also factories which manufacture tea, but they only do it simple way. They do it on old machinery, and they don't change the recipe. They do it in a very common way. Just we know how to do black tea and green tea, and that's it. They didn't try to make some white tea or yellow tea, or take the same tea and try to do oolong technology or ripe it, make it like Pu-erh or make it like Pu-erh. But actually it's not Pu-erh, but same technology, So they didn't experiment. They didn't make GABA teas or something. I like the experiments with technology because this is a key thing. You can have if you have a good material. Doesn't matter from where is it, Main thing, of course, it's a soil and it's a cultivar. And if it's perfect soil and it's a perfect cultivar, you can make something different, which is what I focused on. This is my main work on it. And also about geography, some people say that, this is a book about Chinese, why it's only about China? I just say because China was ruled. And after that, of course, we will tell more about other countries, but also this is how it comes, where it comes through. It comes from here. Come from,
as the origin.
The origin. And also the geography now it's really changing, constantly changing. For example, some regions, what I just talking about, for example, northern Fujian region. There's a different counties, which is manufactured teas. There's a white tea counties. There's a oolong, must known. So we're talking about North Fujian and Hunan County. It's a manufacturer of maybe one of the best teas in China, most famous teas, Big Red Drop, Dahenpao tea. And also, but Dahenpao, some people also know Zhougui, Shixian, and Tianluhan, and Baizhuxian, and Baijiguan, and a lot of different other varieties. But there is also much more varieties, but no one knows. And also, when you stay there and try to go to this factory, to that factory, more and more, research. And this way you can really find the real opportunity. You can really find something really new, completely new. Some new tastes, some new technologies. And you constantly can, even if you go only in this region, you always will find something new. Even in one small county. But you know, almost 1,000 counties in China which manufacture tea. And in each county there are thousands and thousands of small and big farms. So in total it's absolutely incredibly big market and industry in China. So if we only talk about China, you can spend all your life on that and still study. For example, I spent 11 years and I can't say that I know really a lot. I can say, yeah, I know something, but it still need to be...
How much percent would you guess?
Like I think
zero.
Maybe about 10 to 15. Yeah, but yeah, it's still...
And what's your next target to focus on?
Oh, it's interesting. Very interesting question. I want to research more in Sichuan province. I was there a few times, but I need to research more. Of course, it's Hunan province, and some regions in Hunan also need to be more discovered. Guanxi province, I was a couple of times, but I also need, and Hunan, Guanxi region, I want to research more. And also some regions, other regions in Hunan, like Yinde County, and yeah, maybe it's a lot. And also in southern Fujian, pretty good discovery, but maybe spend more time there, it also will be very useful. And northern Fujian, of course, going to Shaoxing region and some other counties there. Yeah, it's really, I can spend more than 10 years.
To a different country, or will we see
yeah,
Taiwan or Japan?
Taiwan, I'm really pretty into it, but I really want to go to Japan, of course, and we already visited, not personally, but my helpers visited the factories in Japan. And also I want to say that, yeah, of course Thailand, of course Vietnam a little bit, Laos, maybe northern Burma. It's a difficult region, but it can be, and also maybe India, but India, it's very good that it's discovered by my partner Alexei, because he little bit speak Hindi and he lived in India like 5 years in total. So he have a great experience in India. Maybe Nepal, maybe some other countries, but yeah, of course Russia also, and Georgia. I think
so. Every.
Also, I'm really interested to visit Kenya and research there, and Malawi in Africa, and also seaside of northern Tanzania. I was in Tanzania, but not on that place. Maybe I was in Argentinian plantation, but what I just forget to talk about, some regions are only focused on mass market production, so it's difficult to educate them. You just go there, oh, you need to buy some machinery for them, or research, get them, study them how to manufacture good teas. But because it's a business, it's you must to protect your knowledge. You know, if you just spread it to anyone, of course I spread it by this, of course I also spread something, it's not a secret, but actually it's pretty useful information even for manufacturers of tea. But you can focus on anything at the same time. So, and if you're talking about the knowledge, the best knowledge you can get, of course, is Taiwan, China, and Japan. All the rest, mostly, yeah, mostly use the knowledge from these countries. I can say that only, but mostly they use the knowledge from these countries. And yeah, and we can just make trail on our farm. Mm-hmm. It's much more useful. But of course, know more about other countries. It's interesting. Anyway.
You've told us everything you could.
Yeah. I think we can talk about tea like eternally, 3 miles more, but yeah, we'll finish it on this good note. Yeah, so yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Dima, for
listening. For sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, we can. I hope you will.
I'll share my English with you.
Yeah, share my English and also make some local wisdom too. Yeah, because also Dima, if you're Dutch, you can look in our Dutch channel, which is called Moychay, and where Dima have a series of ABC of tea in Dutch, which is most
well, to start your tea journey. And I'm sure this video will also be kind of translated or told by me in Dutch. So maybe you'll see it if you go to the Netherlands.
And also welcome to our Netherlands tea house, because now we have a, how to say, limited special by appointment visits.
Right now,
because we're working, we sell food, so we can work, and even during this lockdown stuff. But I hope in February we will open our tea house in Rozengracht 92. So welcome to Amsterdam if you're living in Europe or you have ability to travel here. Hope someday it will be more possible.
We promise you a unique experience with tea to go. We'll also have like tea ceremonies and a lot of super good tea. So if you want to come by,
and we have some special assortment which is differs from our main Moychay site, is from Moscow warehouse. So we try to make it more unique. So not more, just different. So
So again, thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you hopefully again on this channel. And
drink good tea.
Drink smakelijk.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.